Well, hello and welcome to Bajerski YouTube channel, Crystal channel. How are you all doing? It's a beautiful day today. It's been a while since I've talked about my favourite crystal in the world, so I'm going to talk about it today, and maybe we just have a chat about this crystal and see where we go. Okay, so I've just got this little board out that I've been working on a certain amount of Moldavites. Okay, so this is what I'm working on today and probably for the next week or maybe 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes. When I say work on them, what that means is I individually place energy into them, which means that when I'm meditating or working in the healing process, I place a certain healing energy within this. So it's kind of like a double whammy. You've got your power of your Moldavite and then a certain energy that goes into it that I believe wholeheartedly Spirit leads you to my website, and then you'll feel, oh my God, I don't know why I want that one, but that one is what I want. And then you buy it, and whatever's in that energy, which is extra, will help you along your journey. That's always been my belief system over 16 years, and it seems to have done so good so far. Sometimes it slip up every now and again, and some people get a little bit disheartened, but it's never over the power of the crystal. It's over maybe the size, or it may be not quite what they wanted or whatever. But generally speaking, in 16 years I've never had anybody who's really been upset with my crystals. They've always been really appreciative, and they realize how much effort I put into them and how much love I put into them. A Moldavite to me has never been about the size. Never. Because for me, if I look at these are some beauties that I have just at the moment. Hard for you to see, of course, because the camera's the wrong way around. If it was facing that way, you would see the brightness and the beautiful colours of the Moldavite. Hard to see. And this one is an extra dark one, really dark Moldavite, that one. Really dark. And then you go down to the little ones, the little juices. There you go, again, the beauties. And then you go down to the smaller ones, which are the petite collection. Beautiful. And then I'm just working on this one, which is Moldavite and Herkimer. So basically, I work on these either individually or in a group and put certain energies into them that I believe need to go into them at that given moment. They're channeled messages, really. Basically feel it on my body. Do you want me to show you how I do it? So yeah, I'll show you how I'm doing it. I'll just do it with this piece, okay? So I'll sit in a comfortable place, put the music on, and then either put it in my hand or lay it on my third eye. Okay, so at this moment I'll just hold it in my hand and explain what I do, okay? You can try it at home. It's really easy. All of a sudden, you'll start to feel certain feelings in the body. Now, all of a sudden, my chest at this side is starting to feel really tight. So I know my head now is starting to be in pain. The back of my head, just here, oh my God, is killing. It's like a headache. It's like a stabbing pain, okay? So I've got two pains now, here and here. They've gone. It's disappeared, that's disappeared. Okay, so first two things, I know what's happening on a level of healing. Next, I'm feeling relaxed now, really relaxed. Oh my God, my stomach now is doing really strange things. It's feeling super sensitive. It's feeling really like it's raw inside. Oof, really raw, okay? That's gone, okay. My eyes are feeling tight and tension, like they're really heavy. Okay, that's gone. Okay, so now what's just happened is I've just been given a certain energy, and of course I'm only showing you this for a few seconds. This can take an hour or 2 hours, okay? So it's not always that instant, but I'm able to pick that up because I've been doing it so long. So you can give it a try. Now, those indications, okay, of what's just happened was whatever the body needed, it needed healing, and it was giving me a message to say that whoever has an issue in the chest, whoever has issue in the stomach, whoever has issues in the head, headaches, pains, this crystal will now help heal those people of that particular issue. And that's how I work with a crystal. So basically, it's channeling this universal energy, which is free, and it goes into that crystal. Then the crystal goes onto the website. People see it and get drawn to it. And 9 times out of 10, when they read the message of what has been put into that crystal, they normally know it's for them, or they just feel they need it because they didn't even realize they had an issue with themselves. And many times over the years, people have come back and said, Mark, I chose a crystal from you. It made no sense to me, but I just felt I needed it because the writing what you wrote made no sense. But then a month later, I found out that I had an issue with that particular place and it's nearly healed, blah, blah, blah. So I used to get feedback, which was confirmation constantly that it is really, really fascinating and absolutely real. It really is real. So that's how I work with these Moldavites. Once I've placed the energy into them, which I feel is right, and I feel they're kind of energized enough, then they go on the website. So let's go back to Moldavite, shall we? Beautiful piece of Moldavite, eh? Look at that beauty. Gorgeous, eh? Moldavite had to have been the most amazing moment of my life when a piece of Moldavite was placed into my hand, and you probably already know that I actually felt my body lifting off the ground. Now, to anybody else, it would have just been like I was just stood there, but my actual spiritual energy, my spirit lifted up, and I physically felt, and like I'm looking at you now, I felt like I was just doing this, and it was the strangest feeling. I said, what the hell is this? From that moment on, it brought me to different pieces of Moldavite. It brought me to places where, like, this is weird. And at points of my life, when I first began with Moldavite, I actually put it away and said, I don't want to touch this. It's too much. And that's the truth. When I started working with it more and more, I realized that my fears was what stopped me from working with Moldavite. My fears, or what other people were saying to me, oh, don't work with that, that can be too much, blah, 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 blah. I mean, getting all sorts of like nonsense from people as well, you know, that this isn't a crystal, it's it's radioactive, and like, oh my God, you can hear all sorts of stuff. But you know what? I didn't listen. I listened to what felt right to me and what was happening. There were times when I was on a train and I was drawn to a piece of Moldavite in a shot. Anyway, it's in my next book. Like, I mean, come on. I've got a piece of this Moldavite in my hand and I'm on a train for 2 hours and I was literally crying, tears rolling down my face, crying. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? So I realized that Moldavite is a real opener, a real powerful healing crystal. It is one of the most powerful crystals in the world. Now, I was telling people this, and some people were saying, yeah, it's amazing. Some people were saying, I've got nothing from it. And if I would have listened to everybody, I wouldn't have been anywhere. I wouldn't have known what to think or do, because some were saying it doesn't work, it's a load of rubbish, it's all garbage. Some were saying it's the most powerful crystal in the world. Some people were saying it's dangerous. So I kept on at it. I kept working with it. And I kept buying different pieces of Moldavite. And before long, I became so addicted to Moldavite, whether tiny or whether huge, I kept working with different pieces of Moldavite. And I'll show you one of the most beautiful pieces. Just give me a second. So, in here are basically, well, I'm going to show you these. Look at them. You see them? I know that the light's on them, but these are what you call hedgehog. They're the most desired Moldavites in the world. And this one here is probably one of the most beautiful Moldavites in the world. they call it the flame of. Okay, now it's on pins, so I have to be careful here. So it has a name. So I'm just going to show it you this way first of all. And that's a pretty big piece if you look at my hand, okay? But the fact that it was dug and found like this is practically impossible in this kind of shape and form. There you go, look at that. Some people have already seen it, but I wanted to show you guys. Now that is what's called a museum piece, okay? And after 16 years of working, it's hard to see, but it's the most beautiful colour you've ever seen. You know, if I showed you in the sun, it would just blow you away. So yeah, that's my most prized piece. Yeah, and it's got a name, so that just shows you. And that's going to be travelling all over the world with me when my Power of Moldavite book comes out very shortly now. So I'll put that back too. So yeah, I'm a keen, avid collector of Moldavite, genuine Moldavite. Show you another piece as well. There's another piece. It's hard to see it. I can get that. There's another piece. It's hard to see again, but it's absolutely beautiful. As I'm looking at it like that, it's just incredible. And take the lid off so you can see this way. There you go. At the divine. So yeah, I'm an avid collector of Moldavite, of genuine Moldavite. There are moments when you are a buyer and a collector, and of course I have a website that I sell these beautiful crystals on. And there are times that people really appreciate them with all their heart. And then some people get a little bit disheartened and a bit upset because they'll get a piece of Moldavite and they might say, oh, that's a lot of money for such a small piece of Moldavite. And not often, but it does happen. And when it does, it's kind of challenging. And of course I say, I'm sorry you feel that way, please have a full refund. And then they go and buy another piece and find out it's fake. And most crystal Moldavites now are fakes. And to find genuine Moldavite, you just don't get it cheap. So these pieces were, for me, it took me a long time to save and pay for. And like when I was in America, there were 3 pieces just basically like these, but slightly longer and quite pretty in design. And I thought, I'm going to buy them. And I'd saved some money up, so I wanted some Moldavites, special pieces to travel with me when my Power of Moldavite book comes out. So yeah, you can get genuine Moldavite, and you can pay €7, 14 euros, and so on. You know, mine around about 50 euros a gram if I'm buying nice pieces, which is a lot of money. Of course it is. But you know, the smaller pieces are a little bit less. But these 3 pieces, I said, you know, I'd really like to buy them. The man weighed them. They were $300 a gram. $300 a gram. So for 3 little pieces, we were looking at, I think it was, I can't remember exactly the full amount, but it was phenomenal. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. Now I'd understand if somebody pays 300 a gram. I get that. But you know, some people do get upset because they see on eBay and other places that you can buy it for €4 a gram. And then when they get it, they realize it's fake, which I would say, and I've said it before many times, the amount of Moldavite that can be dug up from the Czech Republic and how much has already been dug up, I think we should have run out 5 years ago. So I think that there's so much fake, it's unreal. So my work, my job is to hunt down genuine pieces. And yes, it's expensive, it's not cheap. But if you listen to Alex on my video a few weeks ago, Alex talked about how to spot genuine Moldavites, and his dealer who he deals with actually owns 2 fields in the Czech Republic, so he can dig as much as he wants there, and they dig quite far down. It's not always what you think. You have to dig sometimes even lower than your own body size, so 6 foot you might have to dig down to get Moldavite, depending on what field and what have you. So it's a really interesting subject, is Moldavite in all its form. It's controversial. It can be really negative, and people can get extremely angry because there's so much fake. So it has a real diverse energy. But you know what? My suggestion, and it always has been, is if you're going to go down a path of buying Moldavite, make sure you have a reputable dealer. Make sure you buy it, put it in your hand, feel it, make sure it's right. And if it's too cheap, it's too good to be true, it's normally a fake. And like I said, I believe wholeheartedly, and I said it in many of my videos, I actually believe 50% of Moldavites that you see from day to day will be fake, but I think it's probably a lot more now. I think it's more like 80%. That's my whole feeling about it now. And many people are agreeing with me who are in the Moldavite trade. So Moldavite is a beautiful crystal. I'm writing a book called The Power of Moldavite. It's an amazing read. It really is. It's going to blow you away. It talks about the extraterrestrial energy within it, which for me is one of the key reasons why it makes this crystal so amazing and so unique than any other crystal. And of course, I have to always mention, it's not a crystal that we have in our ground that's grown naturally. It's a meteorite that landed on our planet, thank you, and it's blessed our land. It landed in Germany, and then it spurted its bits everywhere, and it landed in the Czech Republic. And in the book it also tells you it's actually landed elsewhere, but not many people know about it. In fact, very few people know about it. And it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a real eye-opener for a lot of people. It talks about the energy of how it dispels a lot of darkness, a lot of just unusual energies that from day to day we might not come across, but every now and again we do. And when we do, a Moldavite clears that away. Moldavite has a unique energy that no other crystal, not even Tektite, and I'm not so sure about Libyan glass. I can't say because I've never worked with it, but I can tell you the crystals that I've worked with my whole life now, Moldavite is one which I still don't 100% understand, and I'm still learning day to day. I love working with Moldavite. On a night I'll sleep with it, and like last night I receive so much information as I sleep with Moldavite. It heightens my awareness. When I place it on my third eye, it literally wakens my third eye. So through the day I'm feeling more heightened, more aware. I feel stronger. I feel more confident. Moldavite is an amazing crystal. Anyway, getting back to when I first started with Moldavite, one day I was wearing this very beautiful piece, which was almost like this shape. So I've got it on my neck. I'm holding it. And all of a sudden I start to burn up like I thought I had flu. I actually went home and went to bed and thought I had flu. I soon realised that I didn't have flu, but it was weird, but I took it off and then I was okay about an hour later. Anyway, maybe 2 or 3 days later, I put this back on, and then I thought, Jesus, I'm coming down with flu again. What's wrong with me? So back home I go, I take this off. A couple of hours later, I'm okay. So through the experience of really my own understanding, I realised that this is true. There is such thing as a Moldavite making you feel really flu-like. There were many times that I had Moldavites that I started going bright red, literally. I used to drink, but not so much, only a little bit, but I used to drink, and when I did, I used to get this hot flush, and I could feel this palpitation in my heart. I was getting the same thing wearing a Moldavite. There are so many reasons why a Moldavite can trigger our immune system strengthening, our body becoming more heightenedly aware, and the self-healing taking place, which to you and I can seem really scary, because we think that, well, if something's meant to heal us, we shouldn't feel a pain, whereas in fact Moldavite, when you place it on you, can at times trigger something to really bring out what needs to be healed emotionally. So your emotions can go all over the place, like I was crying. That was something happening on a deeper level than I knew, but because I did not know why I was crying, but I knew something was happening. I could have taken it as a real negative, but deep down I just knew this is positive. So we have to learn to understand that Moldavite, if not any crystal of course, that when we wear it, if we feel discomfort, if we feel upset, if we feel heightened in awareness, not on a positive level, but maybe on a heavy negative level, that it is bringing to the surface something that's been suppressed within us. And if we can change our mindset to that, then that's a positive thing. So you can see how I love Moldavite with all my heart. I haven't done a video for quite a while because I really believed that the Moldavite book was going to come out, but there's so much to add to it every day, and I'm adding to it all the time, so it's becoming a bigger book and more powerful. So I only want to stop when I feel it's ready, although there will be Power of Moldavite 2 and 3, but this is an important book to me. It's my life work. It's 16 years of working with Moldavite with no other influence, of no dealers telling me anything, no other crystal healers, but predominantly me going into a small room, my clients coming in, thousands of them, and working with Moldavite on each client. I have seen some things that have happened to them that would blow you away, that blew my clients away, that blew me away, and made me realize there is something very unique when and only when you get a genuine Moldavite and your body is ready to open up to that energy. Sometimes, dear friends, a Moldavite can take weeks, if not months, for you to actually be open enough in the physical and the emotional way, not because of you and not because of you doing anything wrong or not because there's something wrong with the crystal. It's just that whatever's happening within your body, it's breaking down the walls of this lifetime, and in fact probably many other lifetimes, till we get to a point when we're actually ready and all of that crap has cleared away and now we feel. And there's been multiple times that people have sat in groups with me and said, oh, I don't feel anything. Oh, I don't feel, George, do you feel anything? No, I don't feel anything. And then an hour later, when we're in the meditation, oh my God. So did that make the crystal not work? Because you put it in your hand and that means it's not good enough and it's rubbish and it's not this, it's not, but then an hour later everything's fantastic, you see. And then I realized it's a personal journey. You can't make a crystal jump out at somebody and make somebody feel the power of a Moldavite. It's your own journey, and it's not for me to try and prove or try and tell you what you should and shouldn't do. It's up to you as a person, because life seems to be that everybody wants everybody holding their hand and telling them how to do it and what to do. And you know what? 2020 is about you taking the responsibility for your life and taking a Moldavite and holding it and working with it and allowing it to be present in your life. And as it's ready, and when it's ready, and when you're ready, it will create this physical and emotional feeling. And don't always think it's positive, because like I said, it can really be a shock energy, but that's brilliant. Work with it, stay with it. Don't listen to people who say take it off. That's the most important moment. Imagine when the real work's being done and you take it off because you're feeling, oh my God, that's not, leave it on. Whatever it's doing, it's smashing it and getting rid of it. And I'm living proof of that. I would say predominantly that what I've seen within myself over these 16 years, I can say that wearing a Moldavite certainly helped me along my journey, spiritually and emotionally and physically. It always was a great measuring stick to how I was feeling and how I should feel and what my connection should be to the spirit world. And it really helped me focus and connect and really be grounded at the same time as feeling this connection of these worlds. So it's such a beautiful crystal, and I have all the time in the world for Moldavites, whether as beautiful as this or as tiny and powerful as this. There is no discrimination with Moldavite. Each piece is uniquely powerful, big or small. So I hope this video serves you well. Thank you for going to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel and subscribing. And thank you for going to this channel, coming to this channel, the Crystals channel, and subscribing. Both channels I work with daily to put as many messages out there as possible. This one as many as I can for crystals. And my other channel is a self-help and to help you grow in the spiritual manner, and many other interesting subjects we talk about. And finally, thank you so much for going to markbajerski.com and buying your authentic Moldavites that I work with daily. Thanks so much, guys. I hope to see you in North America on April the 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th for a 4-day pure energy healing course, and in Spain, Europe in June the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, again for another 4 days of magic. Hope to see you there. Take care of yourselves, guys. Have a great day.